Welcome to the Pagan Perspective and welcome to 2020. I'm your Wednesday host, Dieka, and this week we are talking about our intentions for the new year. So, this is a really exciting video for me. I have so much to share with you. 2019 was a tough year in a lot of ways. It was a year of a lot of opportunities, but the very end was one of those real crazy ones. So without going into too much detail, my partner, my husband and I both lost our full-time employment. So all of a sudden, it was some Ebenezer shenanigan level stuff, but all of a sudden, no income other than a couple $100 from some side gigs and no savings. So we were in a position of looking at our lives and going, well, we've been talking for a while about how we want to make some major changes, and this wasn't exactly the way that we were planning to initiate those, but it was really the kick in the butt that we needed to go, okay, so we keep talking about how do we develop lifestyle that really fits our goals, what do we really want to be doing, and I guess we're going to have to do it. So the big thing for me that kept coming back in our conversations was that I wanted to be doing more to be giving to the community, and specifically the pagan community and the regenerative agriculture community. So how could I set up my life in such a way that that's what I was focusing on? So I launched a podcast that I've been working on for a long time, and that is nature guided meditations. I think the last video we did last year, I talked to you guys about that a little bit, and I'm going to be starting one, which I'm so excited with Mark Green, and this is really exciting for me. It's going to be a non-theist, earth-centered, grounded in earth practice pagan podcast, and it'll be a weekly podcast. We'll be talking about all kinds of things, but we're doing our first recording session this week, and I feel so honored and blessed to be working on this project, and really hope that it will offer a lot and really be able to serve the community and bring some interesting ideas to be discussed, and really delve into topics that are very much related to what we're experiencing as a pagan community, as pagan individuals, that are harder to talk about in some of the formats that we have been exploring before this. So I will share that with you guys as soon as that launches, hopefully the end of February, beginning of March area. And it's really also just an honor to work with Mark, because he's a very thoughtful and inspiring person. The third thing that I'm doing, which is a big pagan related thing, is, and this is another thing I've thought about for doing for years, but it's finally the time to, I'm going to be offering some one-on-one mentorship. So a mentorship program going through the Wheel of the Year. And the idea is to help you to either create and establish, or if you already have one, really deepen a practice in relation to the Wheel of the Year, in relation to the seasons and the earth, to really center in on that earth-based practice, that earth-based spirituality element. So if any of you are interested in working with me on that, I will also leave the link to that in the description. The website for that is just my channel name, magicandmundane.com. So yeah, that is my, and then of course, being here on the Pagan Perspective, this probably is going to be my last year on the Pagan Perspective. It's something that I love so much, but I have been with the channel for quite a few years, and I think the time to pass the torch is coming on. But for the rest of the year, I will be here and exploring the many topics that we have coming up together. And of course, I'll continue to be doing things on my personal channel. I've been doing regular meditations for the holidays of the Wheel of the Year, and I hope as soon as we get into our new place, where I have an actual outside ritual space that I can connect to the internet with to be doing some live rituals as well. So the idea with that is to actually invite participation with that. Here we are still in town and should hopefully be moving to our property pretty soon, but there's just no way to do a live in this setting, but as soon as we're there. So that's a lead in. I think last year I shared with you guys that we had purchased our forever home, our property, but as a totally off-grid situation. And the idea was that we would be fixing it up and getting ready to move in. And we were hoping to move last year, but things were pretty crazy, and we weren't quite able to make that. We are very, very close now. We finished most of the infrastructure elements. So we have water and power and all of those things. So we'll hopefully be moving in there soon. And as part of that, there's a lot of range restoration that we'll be doing, grassland restoration. In fact, some of the clients that I work with as a consultant, as an independent ecologist, actually are up in that neighborhood, so I'm very familiar with the area. And I'll be starting a small CSA, I think of maybe 4 or 5 member CSA, and growing a lot more. This year we didn't grow a lot of our food, even though we tend to. We still did a little bit, but in past years we grow the majority of our produce. We're going to be moving back into that and sharing that. So that's a really important element for my practice as a pagan, because I really believe in, because the ecosystems that we are part of, I believe, are important and sacred, right? Sacred, worth protecting. And so I believe that it's my job to live in accordance with my values, and this is a way that I get to do that. So I'm just incredibly excited for this year, and I feel so grateful to be able to share that with you and to share that with other people, and maybe spread some inspiration or some information. I'm sure I'm missing so many things. I'll go back and watch this video later and be like, oh, I forgot to say whatever. But the other part of the question is, what's on our reading list? What are we really inspired about? So I have to admit that I don't read a lot right now physically. And that is because I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. But I do listen to all kinds of podcasts, and I listen to books. And I'm not sponsored by or advertising any of these services, but my Audible library has like over 300 titles in it. And we have Curiosity Stream and Great Courses Plus, which those are video lecture series, and we watch those pretty much almost every night. We're watching something. So I'm almost always consuming a lot of media, almost always nonfiction. I'm really interested in learning as much as I can all the time. And then it's also really important to us as the parents to model for the kids that, hey, learning is something that continues. You don't just do that in school and stop, right? It's so we practice self-directed whole family learning. So people get to choose what they're most interested in, and everybody does it. So it's hard to say even what my current reading list is, because I'm consuming so much media at the time, right? I'm going through multiple books a week. So I'd love, though, if you guys have anything interesting for any field, really, from the sciences to history, all of that, anything interesting, or new pagan things that have come out, please drop that in the comments and share that with all of us, because it would be fantastic to get some tips on things to check out. So yeah, I'm excited for this year. Please feel free to check out any of the links that I'm putting in below. I'll let you guys know about the new Non-Theist Pagan podcast when that comes out, and every week the nature guided meditations are coming out. So, and of course the Wheel of the Year mentorship or coaching program. So just psyched to share that with you, and would love to hear about anything that you guys have planned, what your intentions are for the year, and your book and documentary advices. All right, see you next week. Take care.